Could this possibly be the best zombie survival game yet? Well, I certainly hope so. So have a seat and clean your ears out because we've got some things to talk about. I'm just now hearing about this game, so if there's anything you think I have missed or believe should be said, feel free to comment below. Dead Matter is the game in question, and at least to me, Dead Matter checks all the boxes for a zombie survival game that I would play a lot of. It's a game that offers PvP aspects as well as solo experience. And while the zombies at this time look like crash test dummies that are simply spray painted, I can allow myself to overlook this because of what else the game has to offer. Dead Matter is a crowd-funded game that has amassed almost 1.6 million USD for its startup and development. So with that amount of capital, I would think this is a promising game to keep an eye on. When I started looking into this game, my expectations quickly grew, and the ambition to play the game did too. And then I saw this. A long silence on updates and uploads to YouTube, which raised some concerns for me. Now, I can only imagine the thoughts going through the backers' heads when they don't hear from the developers. But moving on. On paper it looks great, and so far so does the game. However, whether or not the game functions properly is another story entirely, as we all have found out with Cyberpunk 2077. Dead Matter is based in Canada, therefore weather will play a role in the gameplay. When it's freezing, the zombies will move slower, as they should, considering there is no blood flow and nothing to keep their body temps above freezing. Technically, they should become frozen statues, but I digress. Dead Matter is a first-person zombie survival game with emphasis on realism. The guns and animations look amazing. The loadout and inventory interface is similar to that of Tarkov. When you start the game, it looks like you can customize your character and pick a unique perk with different stat multipliers, as well as an occupation which affects the skills as well. The game looks great. I love the aesthetic of it. I hope this game makes it. I really do. I just want to sit and immerse myself for days in this ambitious game. Dead Matter has a lot of mechanics at its disposal. So to casual players it may seem a tad overbearing, but I personally love complex mechanics. But what I really loved about what I have seen so far is the vehicle storage being laid out on sort of a grid design instead of slots like in State of Decay. Unlike State of Decay, where a small item takes up a whole slot, the slots used in the grid are determined by the size of the item, which I absolutely love. The main emphasis is on survival and not so much PvP like DayZ. However, if you want a PvP, you can. There will be drivable vehicles and places to set up a base, as well as towables for the vehicles, varying from generators to trailers. No, you won't be able to build your own castle out of trees you smacked with a rock, but you will be able to inhabit existing locations on the map and customize them, as well as some prefabs you can set up when you're out in the bush. Since this game's focus is on realism, you're not going to find loot in places that don't make sense. For example, you won't be finding guns in a public restroom. There will be crafting and weapon modifying in this game, which is nice and something I would expect from a zombie survival game in this day and age. There will be factions, both hostile and friendly, that you can interact with or fight, much like State of Decay. You will be able to trade with the friendly factions. According to their website, they want to implement a train system as well as helicopters and fixed wing planes, which I think would be amazing. Assuming the game makes it. God, I hope this game makes it. I'm getting a half chub just thinking about flying a helicopter in a zombie game. Potentially a full chub if I can find a building to land my chopper on with a roof entrance. But anyways, there goes my desires and expectations taking off again. I gotta keep telling myself this game is in development still. The devs would like to implement hunting and everything that goes with hunting, but I am unsure if that has been done yet. Dead Matter uses the same engine as State of Decay 2, which is the Unreal Engine 4, which is a pretty decent game engine. As of right now, the hit animations look a bit wonky, but this game is still in development. From what I've been reading, this game has been in development since 2012, and as I have said before, I'm late to the party. The game is not available yet, and when it's available, it will only be available on PC. I have missed out on the opportunity to become a backer for this crowdfunded game and the ability to obtain a key to play the closed alpha. But from what I'm reading from other backers, maybe it's for the better. In the early stages of development, the development team was very vocal about patches and updated the community frequently, as well as uploading vids to YouTube. Link in the description. With State of Decay 3 on the way and Dying Light 2 as well, it's hard for me to think this Kickstarter game will be better than either of these. However, you could say I am comparing not so similar games, to which I would have to agree. But since State of Decay and Dying Light are my favorite zombie games, that's the unhealthy comparison I like to make. State of Decay 2 has a limited storyline, whereas Dying Light is story-based and very linear. I find myself coming back to State of Decay 2 more than I do Dying Light, simply because it isn't story-driven at all, and I'm free to do what I want, making each playthrough different than the last. State of Decay's deaths hurt way more than they do in Dying Light, which adds a sense of responsibility and realism that I both hate and love at the same time. I hope dying in this game has meaning and is felt, and that it hurts, because it will make the success you find that much more satisfying. After a pretty bad pre-closed alpha launch in which backers could play the game in its current state, I have seen some of this footage and it appears unplayable. So looking at the Dead Matter website and forums draws some concerns, as I see backers like this expressing their concerns with no response. Now, I'm not a game developer, but I do know that a certain degree of customer service probably wouldn't hurt the situation. I am aware that the devs have recently moved into a central location, or studio as they call it, which I hope is part of the reason they haven't been responding to backers. Now obviously there's two sides to a story here, and I'm trying not to pick a side, but I do see the frustration these backers must be facing, and it is affecting my hope for this game. Dead Matter has come out with an update on their website quite recently actually, which does spark a bit of hope in the ambitious cauldron, perhaps enough to bring the pot to a simmer. As of right now, there is no set date on when early access will be coming, or even the closed alpha for that matter. All I know is 2021. I will be keeping my eyes open though, as I would like to see this game thrive. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about this game for a bit and discuss my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think below. Later.